The rain was coming down in sheets when Amina stood outside the house she once called home, holding nothing but a small suitcase and a heart that felt heavier than the sky above her. She never thought she would hear the words her husband shouted at her just minutes earlier, words so sharp they felt like they carved straight into her soul. You can't give me a child. You have no place here anymore. Leave. The door slammed. The lock clicked. And just like that, she was thrown out, discarded like she was nothing. A bolt of thunder cracked above her, but even nature couldn't compete with the storm inside her chest. Amina didn't scream. She didn't knock again. She had tried for years, doctor appointments, prayers, endless waiting, but her inability to conceive had turned her husband bitter and his family cruel. She had survived countless taunts, but today, she had finally broken. She stepped off the porch and into the street, soaked, trembling, her future a blur. She didn't know where she would go. She didn't know what tomorrow looked like. She just walked, silently, until her legs began to ache. At that moment, a car slowed beside her. Amina froze. The tinted window rolled down, revealing her Bosaram, the CEO of the company she worked for, widely respected, widely admired, and a man who always carried a sadness in his eyes. Only now that sadness deepened with concern. Amina, he said softly, why are you out here like this? What happened? Her lips parted, but no words came out. The rain washed down her face, mixing with tears she didn't want him to see. Get in, he insisted gently. Please. She didn't have the strength to refuse. She opened the door and settled into the warm car. Arham handed her a towel from the back seat, his eyes never leaving her face. Did someone hurt you? He asked. She shook her head, then nodded, then finally whispered, my husband threw me out. Arham's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Because of what? She stared out the window. Because I can't give him children. A silence filled the car, heavy and heartbreaking, but Arham didn't pity her. Instead, he looked at her like she deserved so much more than pain. About 40 seconds into the drive, he spoke again, quietly, but firmly. Before we go on, if you're watching this, remember every story we share is meant to spread kindness. Make sure to like, comment, share and subscribe to Kindness Valley so more people can hear stories like Amina's. He gently turned the car toward the main road. Amina folded the towel in her hands. I'm sorry you had to see me like this, Amina, he said. You never have to apologize for being hurt. His voice held something she hadn't heard in months, respect, understanding, a softness she didn't know she needed. They drove in silence until Arham stopped at a small bakery still open late. He got out, returned with warm tea and a fresh bun, and handed them to her without a word. Amina stared at them as if they were treasures. You need warmth, he said simply. Drink. As the tea slid down her throat, something inside her loosened. For the first time that night, she didn't feel completely alone. Arham drove her not to a shelter, not to a hotel, but to his home. Amina's eyes widened when she stepped inside. The house was beautiful, but not cold. Photos lined the walls. Toys scattered across the living room. It felt lived in, loved. A small voice echoed from the hallway. Daddy. A little girl with curly hair ran forward, pausing when she saw Amina. Arham knelt down. Mira, this is Amina, Daddy's friend. She's staying with us tonight. The girl looked up at Amina, then walked forward and gently took her hand. You can stay in my room if you want. Amina's throat tightened. She had dreamed of moments like this, but not like this. Not when she had lost everything just hours earlier. Arham led her to a guest room, placing fresh clothes on the bed. Change, rest. When you're ready, we'll talk. But that night, neither of them slept easily. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the curtains. Amina woke not to shouting, but to laughter. Mira's laughter. She walked into the kitchen to see Arham flipping pancakes badly while Mira giggled. When Amina stepped closer, Mira tugged her sleeve. Can you help, Daddy? It burns everything. Amina smiled for the first time in days. I can try. Arham watched her carefully as she took over the stove. Thank you, he said quietly. She shook her head. You've already done more for me than anyone. As days turned into a week, and a week into two, Amina found herself healing in ways she didn't expect through Mira's laughter, through the calm of a home that didn't judge her, and through the quiet strength Arham showed every day. One evening, after Mira had fallen asleep, Amina stood on the balcony, staring at the city lights. Arham joined her. You've been through so much, he said, but you still wake up every day with gentleness. That's rare, Amina. She looked down. Sometimes I feel like I'm broken. He turned toward her. You're not broken. You're brave. Amina met his eyes and saw something she couldn't name. You deserve protection, Arham whispered. You deserve care. You deserve a life where someone stands beside you, not against you. There was a long pause. Then he said the words that would change everything. Come with me, Amina. Let me protect you. Her breath caught. No one had ever said something like that to her. Not without conditions. Not without cruelty hiding behind the kindness, but with Arham. It felt real. She didn't give an answer that night, but her heart had already begun to shift by the time the video nears its end. Remember, if this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Your support helps us bring more real stories of hope and humanity to the world. As for Amina, her story didn't end with being thrown out. It began when someone finally chose to catch her, and sometimes, that is all it takes to change a life forever.